My name is Dianna Beardsley, and I am connected to the Patriot Ride via, I'll just say, my son, and I'm going to bring my husband Jim into this conversation as well. Jim and I lost our son BJ in Iraq in 2007. So in 2007, the Patriot Ride was very young. I think it had only done 1 year at that point, and someone had told us about it, and being avid motorcyclers, we decided to check it out that first year because, of course, we were craving anything we could to just keep that connection and keep our son's name continually being said. So someone had told us about the Patriot Ride, and so that year, 2007 was the first year that we did the ride, and at that time it was out of the Dennis Kirk facilities up in North Branch, I believe they are. And so we got there, and it was just kind of a weird experience at first. I meant for us, because we didn't really know anybody, or and of course our emotions and what we had just been through were pretty raw at that time. So our son was killed in February, so the first ride then would have been that summer. And so, like I said, our emotions were pretty raw, but I don't know that anybody really knew who we were per se. You don't really wear a big banner saying, Gold Star Parents or anything around. But we were able to meet up with some people and talk to them, told our stories a little bit, but really that first year was really significant to Jim and I, just in a personal way. And I'll never forget, at the end of the rides, unbeknownst to us, what they did was they slowed down the ride to just a crawl, and they did that out of reverence, and they held the names of every soldier that was killed that year. And of course, that our son's name was there. So you can imagine, we had a hard time riding our bikes because it's through the tears.
Yeah.
But it was just such an amazing show of support and just respect for what our family had been through, even though none of them knew us. So that was kind of the beginning of our journey with the Patriot Ride. We did it every year since then. We came to be a little bit closer to the Patriot Ride as far as organizing it when we got involved with another organization that kind of goes hand in hand with the Patriot Guard Riders, which was tribute to the troops. And we sit on that board of directors. And a few years ago, I'm not even sure how many, maybe 8 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't know, the committee was looking to give their funds to organizations, and Tribute to the Troops was one of those organizations they came up with. And what they wanted was people from the organization to actually sit on the committee as kind of a liaison, I guess, between the different fractions of where the funds were going and stuff. And so that's when Jim and I became involved. And right away we jumped in, and we're kind of tasked with, from the very beginning, of handling the Gold Star families. So one thing that the Patriot Ride did from the beginning was have an event called the Heroes United, which was basically like a picnic, a recognition of the Gold Star families that came to the ride. And so they would do something special to honor that segment of the military population, besides just honoring those who served and veterans and stuff. So we were tasked with that quite early on, and I just took it and ran with it. And so every year we planned kind of what they called a Heroes United event, where we sent out letters to all the Gold Star families inviting them to the event. We had a special area set up for them. We did a special program within the event to honor the Gold Star families, and of course, since then, Jim is very involved with, parking the bikes, and I'm in so many aspects of the logistical parts of it. So, but they really did become a big part of our healing process, just being involved that way. And it was a way that we could continue to honor our son BJ by giving back that way. And I will say since then, so since we've been at the airport and doing those rides, the community support is just incredible. So I feel like we're really blessed. I mean, we see it from every angle. We see it as a military family. We see it as a Gold Star family. We see it as an organizer from that aspect. But then from the community aspect of it, when we do that ride and see the community support that comes out, and we're part of the ones that stuff the mailboxes to let the community know that we're going to be coming through their neighborhood. And the cool thing with that is we've met some of these people while we're out stuffing. And then when we get to see the ride go through and we see them out there, it's really rewarding to see how they've come out to really show their support for our military and our police enforcement. So
that's great. You may have already mentioned one of these, but I've been asking everybody if they can recall 1, 2, 3, or maybe even more of their favorite memories or particular moments that have stayed with them through the past years of the ride.
Well, I would definitely say, and this is an ongoing favorite memory, is the ride itself. I mean, being a biker myself, my husband rides a bike, just being in that mix. And because we're part of the organizing crew too, we're there really early, so we're always at the front of the ride. So it's kind of cool to see the initial reactions of the community as they get excited about us coming through and stuff. And it every year brings me to tears as we start that journey that, through the communities, and just seeing these people out with the signs and the flags and the hooting and hollering, just in peer support. It just really does bring you to tears. So from the event itself, that's always been a favorite memory.
Yeah. And so, as we know, the ride's going to look a little bit different this year. And, we're actually going to be asking people to do a little bit of their own legwork this year, in a fundraising effort, building their own team and really pushing to raise those funds. And I just would say, what would you say to encourage people to participate and donate this year, even though it's going to look a little different?
Well, I would encourage them that despite everything that's going on, this really is a way to overcome all of that. I mean, it's a way that we can kind of make a stance and say, we still are a united country. We're, our military and police force, in light of everything that's going on, are amazing, and they need our support, especially at this time. So yeah, I would encourage them that even though it may look a little different, it's a great way that they can still come out and show their support and just help out those organizations still that need their help.
Yeah, good. So those are the only questions I have for you. But before we stop recording, I want to just open platform for you. If there's anything else you'd like to add or share in regards to your experience this year, anything else you'd like to share with everybody that's going to be seeing this and hopefully supporting it.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, this was really hard decision for us to make as a committee, and I could not be more honored. And I know I'm speaking for my husband, Jim, too, that we have been so blessed to be a part of this ride. I mean, it's beyond words, really, to understand the hugeness of what we've accomplished. And so I'm going to miss everybody on the committee. I know that we'll still ride together as a state in that sense, but I think probably one of the hardest parts is just not getting together for those monthly meetings and the planning, which really just has formed amazing friendships. Like I said, the organizers, Jim and I are just a very, very, very small part of what takes place to make this ride to be a success that it has been. So we're just so grateful to have worked along such great people, and like good friends of ours always say, it's kind of the family aspect of it, but your friends, but your family. So we call each other family. So yeah, it's hard to get past that. And we know those relationships will continue, but we know it'll be different too. But from that aspect, we'll greatly, greatly miss the organizers and doing this every year, even though it was a lot of work, a lot of hard work. The planning and the making it all come together really was extremely rewarding.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Well, I'm sure there's even without the meetings, I'm sure you'll stay pretty close with those folks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they can't get away from me.